What's up, Bitcoin fam? Welcome back to Bitcoin Bulletin, where we break down the biggest moves in crypto. First up, we're diving deep into Michael Saylor's strategy stock, MSTR. You won't believe how often it's been outperformed by Bitcoin over the past year. We're talking about a massive underperformance, and Saylor himself confirmed MSTR is a leveraged bet on BTC. Was it the right call? We've got the breakdown. Next, buckle up, because we're exploring the dark side of Bitcoin's recent rally. Despite the Federal Reserve hinting at rate cuts, there are major signs that the Bitcoin price could be heading for a crash. We're talking bearish chart patterns, potential sell the news events, and even warnings from JPMorgan analysts. Could your favorite crypto be on the verge of a major drop? And the pressure on Bitcoin continues. We're seeing critical tests at the 114K level, with low liquidity threatening to stall any further upside action. Buyers are realizing losses while early investors are taking profits. What does this mean for BTC's immediate future? We've got the analysis you need to navigate these choppy waters. Finally, we're looking at the ultimate safe haven, gold. Inflation-adjusted gold prices have hit record highs, soaring above $3,635. With this kind of surge, the big question is Bitcoin next to follow suit? We'll break down the factors driving gold and what it could signal for the king of crypto. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you're subscribed and the notification bell is on so you never miss an update. Michael Saylor's Bitcoin bet, underperforming the king. For most of the past year, owning Bitcoin itself has been a much better bet than holding shares of strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy. Over the last 250 trading days, MSTR has lagged behind BTC a staggering 90% of the time. While founder Michael Saylor touts his company's stock as a leveraged play on Bitcoin, and BTC has doubled in value over the last 12 months, the reality is that timing is everything in the investment world. MSTR stock has seen an impressive 152% rally over the past year, outperforming Bitcoin's 98% gain. However, investors would have needed near-perfect entry points to truly capitalize, as MSTR has actually underperformed Bitcoin on 228 out of the last 250 trading days. The rare instances of MSTR outperforming BTC were heavily concentrated in September and October of this year, making those 22 days stand out dramatically. On CNBC, anchor Andrew Ross Sorkin directly asked Saylor if MSTR is effectively a levered bet on BTC, to which Saylor unequivocally agreed. Sorkin then pressed further, asking about the downside risk. What happens on the way down? While MSTR has acted as a leveraged bet on BTC over longer periods, its performance on shorter timeframes hinges entirely on investor timing, especially during volatile market conditions. It's no surprise that a leveraged bet can underperform its underlying asset during downturns. Investors primarily value MSTR based on its Bitcoin holdings and confidence in management's ability to increase those holdings, rather than traditional financial metrics. But don't let that MSTR news fool you into thinking Bitcoin is invincible. Get ready for some serious red flags that could send BTC prices tumbling, even with the Fed possibly cutting rates. Bitcoin price warning: could a Fed rate cut trigger a crash? Bitcoin has seen a modest jump this week, boosted by increasing expectations of a Federal Reserve interest rate cut and a surge in ETF inflows, pushing BTC prices up by 6.45% from its monthly low. However, lurking beneath the surface are significant reasons why the Bitcoin price could soon face a sharp decline. Technical indicators are flashing warning signs. The average directional index, ADX, a key trend indicator, has fallen back to 24 from a year-to-date high of 60, suggesting the uptrend is weakening. Compounding this is the formation of a rising wedge pattern on Bitcoin's chart, a bearish signal that often precedes a significant price reversal, potentially pushing Bitcoin back below $100,000. Adding to the concern, the Relative Strength Index, RSI, has formed a bearish divergence, where the RSI trends downward even as the price moves higher, historically leading to a strong sell-off. The looming Fed rate cut itself could be a sell the news event. Analysts at JPMorgan have cautioned that if the Fed proceeds with an expected rate cut on September 17th, it could trigger investors to pull back, leading to a price dump. This is especially true if the Fed delivers a hawkish cut, meaning a cut accompanied by signals of continued inflation concerns, as recent CPI data showed inflation remains stubbornly high. Furthermore, the very Bitcoin Treasury companies that fueled the recent rally are facing their own challenges, with stocks like Metaplanet and MSTR experiencing significant downturns. This financial pressure could force these companies to slow their Bitcoin purchases, impacting overall demand and potentially accelerating any price correction. But it's not just technicals and Fed policy that have Bitcoin on edge. The king of crypto is facing a crucial battle at a key price level, and liquidity is tighter than ever. Bitcoin at a crossroads, 114K test and the liquidity squeeze. Bitcoin is currently navigating a critical juncture, facing intense pressure from opposing market forces. Recent buyers are seeing their positions turn negative, while long-term investors are beginning to lock in their profits, creating a tug-of-war that's putting Bitcoin's upward momentum to the test at the $114,000 mark. This delicate balance is further threatened by critically low liquidity, which could cap any potential gains and even trigger a sharp reversal. The market sentiment is divided, with some anticipating further upside driven by potential Fed rate cuts, and others wary of the technical indicators and the potential for a sell-the-news event. The tight liquidity environment means that even moderate selling pressure could have an outsized impact on price, making it difficult for Bitcoin to sustain any significant rallies. This situation demands close observation as traders and investors weigh the bullish macro factors against the immediate technical and liquidity challenges. Speaking of assets soaring to new heights, get ready to hear about a traditional safe haven that's just hit a decades-long record, and we're asking the million-dollar question: could Bitcoin be next? Gold soars to record inflation-adjusted highs. Is Bitcoin poised for a similar run? Gold has just achieved a monumental feat, reaching its highest inflation-adjusted price since the 1980s, soaring above $3,635 per ounce. This surge is largely attributed to a perfect storm of factors: escalating inflation concerns and the strong anticipation of Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. Analysts are calling it gold's dream setup, and this environment has historically benefited assets like Bitcoin, often dubbed digital gold. The latest Consumer Price Index data revealed annual inflation at 2.9%, exceeding expectations and further bolstering gold's appeal as an inflation hedge. While the Producer Price Index showed some moderation, the persistent CPI figures and the prospect of a potential 50 basis point Fed rate cut on September 17th are fueling demand for tangible assets. Beyond economic indicators, global uncertainties, including geopolitical tensions and political instability, are driving investors towards gold as a safe haven asset. Central banks worldwide are also increasing their gold reserves, diversifying away from the US dollar. The same logic that boosts gold, lower interest rates reducing the opportunity cost of holding non-yielding assets, also applies in part to Bitcoin. Historically, Bitcoin and gold have shown similar cyclical patterns, and while Bitcoin has often outperformed gold, recent data suggests a rebalancing or convergence. With gold hitting these historic inflation-adjusted highs, the market is watching closely to see if Bitcoin can capture similar momentum, especially with reports of significant Tether minting suggesting renewed crypto market activity. That's all the headline news for today, but we've got a lightning round recap coming up, plus the full call to action. Stick around. And that's a wrap on today's Bitcoin Bulletin. We've seen Michael Saylor's MSTR struggle to keep pace with Bitcoin, heard the warnings about a potential Bitcoin price crash despite Fed rate cuts, analyzed Bitcoin's critical 114K test with low liquidity, and watched gold hit record inflation-adjusted highs with Bitcoin potentially next in line. Don't miss out on any of the action. Smash that like button if you found this valuable. Subscribe to Bitcoin Bulletin for all your crypto news. Ring that notification bell so you're always in the know. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on these stories, and follow us on all our social channels for real-time updates. We'll see you in the next one.